Speak to us about the importance of still getting out there, networking, going to certain events, always having your resume handy. Always speak to us about, is that still important? Do we still need to do things like that?
Pause.
I'm thinking. I'm like,
I'm getting ready to give it to you, but at the same time, I need to ask. I know we're getting ready to do this. Can I pause and do a bathroom break? Because that wine ran through me so damn fast, and I'm over here going, I gotta pee.
Welcome to season 2 of Candid Culture, where we are still speaking so candidly about our culture. The culture that we're going to speak so candidly about is the Black gay culture. The reason we're doing this is because, like I've told you in season 1, it's the trend-setting culture. And so today we're going to talk as candidly as possible about branding and marketing. We know that we have so many good girlfriends and so many good Judys who think that they have their own brands. Today it is my goal to teach everyone how to properly have a brand. And so with me to help me with this topic, we have the Dallas Christopher. How are you, darling?
How are you, baby?
I am wonderful. You look wonderful.
Well, thank you. Listen, anytime I have to come with you, baby, you and your frocks and costumes, I had to come together, pull it together.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
And we have the Chavis all the way from NY.
yo, what's goody?
How are you?
I'm great, man.
Come
How
on
are
with
you?
the chest hair and all out and
You know what
all
I'm saying?
things.
Little 1 and 2.
Come
1
on.
and 2. Little. Hey,
Thank you for being here with
of
us
course,
today.
man. Thanks for having me.
So, as I told you, we're talking about branding and marketing, and I thought of no one else besides you two, because again, Dallas, you have been a trendsetter, not only for just hair and makeup, but as a person in regards to a mentor. And so I really wanted your take in regards to how we all could properly navigate through this thing called brand development.
Right.
So, and Chavis, we already know, child, if anyone turns on Instagram, honey,
Right.
they're able to see, honey, the beard
On
and
the
the body,
storyline.
honey,
Come
and,
on.
you know, when you model, underwear, child, we see it. And so, again, but if anyone knows you outside of that, you really have this concept about business that's amazing. So I really want to talk about that. So first, I want to ask the age-old question: what is a brand? In your best definition, how could you define what a brand is? And we can start with Dallas. So,
I was getting ready to go with this young man because when we first sat down and when you walked in, I was like, hey, I know you, I've met you somewhere, and then until you said that, I was like, no, he's been on the storyline on Instagram. I didn't double clicked on that to go
Like,
that beard and those
I love
underwear.
hire, honestly, a brand can vary to a wide sense of things, but I think the biggest thing is understanding what your purpose and passion is. And a brand is simply developing a platform around that to showcase that passion, and really establishing the market for whatever that passion may be. And the brand is essentially everything around that. So everything that you're doing to push for that now becomes that brand.
Right. And I like that where you're speaking about passion, because again, that's my main focus is passion. Of course, working with John Paul Mitchell Systems and being with Paul Mitchell Schools, teaching over 10,000 and touching over 10,000 bodies in this career. Again, your brand is who you are and what you stand for. So being able to build that brand from who you are. And of course, I've had some lessons from those big guys, helping me understand that. But you're right, building behind that passion.
Yeah.
so for the young millennials or the millennial generation, and sometimes even older than the millennial generation, as if we look at the current landscape of just the job market, it's constantly changing to this where they don't need a human body, a human presence. So now everyone is rushing to almost this entrepreneurial type of mindset. You have other step backs where some people are not able to enter corporate America. Right. So what kind of, you all spoke about passion. How can someone identify, again, that this is my passion? How can they find the need in the market for that? So how can they find, okay, this is what I'm passionate about. How can I make this into a business?
Well, can I start with that?
Please do. Go ahead.
So again, that's one of the things I have to teach our students is, finding your niche. And of course, in the hairstylist industry, makeup industry, it's finding what you love and really just, again, building on that. as a hairstylist, I'm a round brush king. So everyone knows around the country, I'm round brush king. Yes, I may do color. Yes, I may do cutting. Yes, I may do makeup here and there. But what I focus on is round brushing because that's my passion. I do it without a thought. And that's some of the things that I tell my students. Take what you do without a thought that you love. You can do it with your eyes closed, upside down, hanging on the ceiling, butt naked, balancing grease the BBs, whatever the case may be. Take that and use that, and always use the same information over and over and over again, and that's how you create your brand.
So specifically with hair and makeup, because as we know in Atlanta alone, it's a saturated market.
Yes, it is.
So how do you kind of speak to someone who, again, one of your students who wants to go into hair and makeup? How do they find their identity and still be prosperous in it in an overly saturated market?
It is. It's overly saturated, but the great thing I will say, because again, I came from DC, and coming from DC, you know, a lot of people say, why would you move from here or working in New York and come to Atlanta that's overly saturated? Again, if you have a passion and something that you love, I say to them, showcase that. It will set you apart. Anything that you're passionate about sets you apart from all the other people. I don't care. There are so many other hairstylists out there, other makeup artists out there that I work with that are 2 million followers, 4 million followers, but they can't be Dallas.
Come on. This is why you're the Dallas Christopher. When we introduce you, we now have to say the Dallas Christopher.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
So, Chavis, I have a really quick question. So, as we said in the beginning, if anyone has an Instagram or any type of social media, the first thing that they see is, God, this is a beautiful man. Tell me how you leverage that into business. Because if anyone knew you, they know that it's not just your looks. If they really know you, how do you do that? How do you leverage that?
Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of touching on what he said of understanding your passion. Like I always tell everyone, like, it's really about if you could wake up every day and do whatever you're doing and not worry about getting money for it, then that's how you know it's your passion. And so for me, like, yes, the aesthetics is one aspect of it, but what I'm super passionate about is actually connecting people and helping people connect the dots. So yes, I, you know, grew the beard originally to kind of hide, and then it became its own entity. And I used that as a marketing tactic to say, okay, it's the first thing that you see, but now it's time for you to understand what's underneath the beard and kind of get you to see that when you see people on the street, it's so much more than just a first aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? It's your job to really question, ask, and discover what's underneath. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, Instagram is a great platform, but it's all about how you use it. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be the best thing ever. It could be the worst thing ever.
So sticking with Instagram,
Yeah.
I really would like to speak about social media etiquette.
Okay.
And the reason I want to talk about that,
Ooh, that's a good one.
it's deep, I know.
Because it's kind of turning into Grindr, meet Jax, you know what I'm saying? Like, hello, hi.
And here's the reason why I want to know is
Yeah.
because you have young millennials like myself who started Candid culture, things of that nature, and wanted to get certain caliber of guests.
Right.
And me, again, being from corporate America, knowing that when I type an email to you, I have to give you my resume in the beginning. I have to let you know in the middle of that what I need from you, and what at the end what we can do together. Right. So that long soliloquy is now dropped down to like 2 sentences in a DM. Right. So help us understand, if both of you, kind of how we could properly communicate that. Hey, I want to partner with you, I want to network with you, but I don't want it to look like I'm trying to holler at you at the same time.
Yo, it's a fine line, bro, because you know, people always have different intentions, and you know, people a lot of times use the business platform first to kind of really get in and be like, and then it switches halfway through. I mean, you know, honestly, DMs are great, but you know, you have that other side where you don't even see 9 times out of 10. So, you know, I always suggest, you know, be very authentic in what you're looking for in that DM. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, my name is such and such. You know, I see that you do X, Y, and Z. I think that we could partner in this sense. And if they don't respond, then, you know, everybody knows this trick. Go like a few pictures, you know what I'm saying? And then under one of the comments, you know what I'm saying, comment something, not like, oh, so sexy, but, you know, be professional about it. You know, at the end of the day, you can use it for pleasure or you can use it for work.
Yeah. That's a good, well said, well said.
Yes.
First of all, let's go ahead and, I'm going to answer that question. Let's get to this beard thing, because, it's trending right now with the beard, okay? It's been trending for a long time. Again, I lived in Philly, and man, I used to walk down the streets of Philly and see beards. I'm going, really? You're going to have that much beard? But
Right.
you know what? It's trending, and it's amazing in our hairstylist industry, so
Yes.
it looks amazing.
Yeah,
Let me
thank
just-
you, bro.
I appreciate that. Stay tuned. Beer Care line launching soon.
I
Hey,
figured that you were
yo.
gonna try to
I
turn
knew
this
something.
into.
I knew something's coming.
I figured it.
I knew something was
was
coming.
I thought you were gonna try to cut
Hold
it off
on,
or something.
I knew something was coming. And wait, then you
It's
said
got you.
lashes too?
No,
Oh, I
no
thought you
lashes.
said lashes.
No,
because
no,
you got
no.
them,
know,
So you got them and you got that. But anyway, so we're not going to stay on that right now. But as far as Instagram, as far as the DMing, my perspective on that, you're right. Key points. There are people who can come in on the slick side,
Yep.
trying to holler at you or whatever. And right within the first few moments of conversation, it comes out, exactly what they want.
right.
But in my opinion, and we talked earlier about this, in my opinion, I say this, just talk to me. Speak to me like you're talking to me on the sofa right now. Talk to me regular. I can do my own homework to find out who you are and what you are. So if you need something from Dallas, tell me what you want. Don't give me some big song and dance. I have 5 different hairlines and 5 different stories, and I have this particular, and I got
Not in
1K.
DM. Yeah, not in DM.
Not in DM.
I ain't got time to read all
I
that.
don't have time.
Yeah,
for
that's the
that.
whole thing. Like you said, it's shortened. Like, bro, I'm not trying to read a paragraph. If I see it, I honestly probably not gonna read it.
But I have a question though. So coming from me, someone who just started a brand and kind of approaching people who have established brands, it can be intimidating because it's like, okay, will they play ball with someone who is not as established as them, but I have a vision that I know is going to work. And if you just give me the opportunity, listen to me. We don't have some people like you and a few of our other guests that are going to be on season 2 who understand that, hey, I once started somewhere.
Yeah.
And let me help you. Let me reach back and help you as well. So what do you all have to say to those individuals who kind of, I don't want to say timid, but they're kind of nervous of, I want to approach them for help, but I'm nervous I'm going to get shot down.
I'll say this. You said, I have a vision. And the way that you said that was so passionate that it was
Holy
authentic.
Ghost.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how you know. That's how you know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you're just now starting off, but just because you have this vision and it's simultaneously a vision that we also agree with, then it's like, all right, cool, I get it. But I'm not going to feel that in a DM. So the best thing is to get that original contact and then be like, hey, can we do a phone call? And then that way it kind of allows you to express, and also I can feel a little bit more of that energy, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just a DM.
Yeah. With me, I don't actually run my DM. I don't have a whole bunch of followers.
Hey, come on.
But I don't
Come
run
on, assistant DM. I need an assistant DM, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some
I'll
real
talk to you
shit.
later about how to get it,
Hello?
okay?
So
Because it's real easy to
field
get.
all through all
It's
of them DMs.
real easy how to get
Hey,
it.
big head DMs.
All of it.
Just saying.
Yo.
But again, it takes away a lot of your time when you're trying to answer all those particular questions. But one thing that you just said that was so profound, I tell my students, right, if you're afraid, as you were saying, I'm kind of afraid. If you're afraid, why are you asking? Okay? Never be afraid. Dive in. I love the part where you talked about your passion and it's not work. That's one thing that we learned from our leader in our Paul Mitchell systems is that when you work from passion, it's not a paycheck. It's love. It's so I can go 24 hours a day and never feel like I'm working. I'm having fun. But I tell my students and anyone else who always reach out to me and say, hey, I want to DM you and want to be a mentor, can you be my mentor? One of the first things I ask them is, tell me some of the people in the industry, hair industry, makeup industry that you follow, that you have some back. If that person has a list of people, such as a Sam Fine, such as a Barry Fletcher, that has been in their history, then yes, at that point, my person who does run my Instagram sends me something and say, hey, Dal, or they send me a text message and say, hey, Dal, by the way.
My person. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
His name is Andrew, okay? He sends me a message and says, hey, Dal, this particular person does have a few people that, that they follow. So, hey, they're interested in a mentor. Would you be able to help them? Instantly, I jump right on it, And that's how I look at it. Again, just be upfront. Yeah. Be upfront. And I mean, if you're trying to holler, tell me you're trying to holler. Andrew's going to say he is with someone. No, he's not gonna say that. I'm playing.
But Dallas, you said something that was really key that I really want to talk about in regards to that purpose is not always attached to a paycheck. And I want to hear from two people that I see as leaders in their fields, in respective fields. When is the inappropriate time to be, no, when is the, inappropriate time to begin charging for what you do? And when is the proper time? Because some people,
That's a good one.
Isn't it?
I'm like, ooh.
Isn't it? What you think? Because I got something.
think hard now.
I got something.
Now, what I can say is, in order to expect to get a paycheck, then you should have gotten a few paychecks before.
Okay.
Honestly. And that comes out of experience, and it doesn't come from you asking from it. It's come because of the worth that you give.
How can you assign a monetary value to what you do? So what I mean by that is, from you in the marketing space, the promotion space, how do you assign a value to that? How do you tell someone who is just a thinker and they just know how to create processes around what you're trying to do? How can they assign a value to something that's not as, like Dallas with hair, makeup, where he can say, well, it takes me this long to do it.
Right.
I'm going to charge you this.
Right. I mean, it has to do a lot with the systems that are in place. So it's like, what are your expectations and what are your needs? And then based off of that, there are different packages that you can develop for that specific client. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of really unfair to give a flat rate overall because each client is going to be different. It's the same way with hair. Do you need a cut and dye, or do you just need a blowout? It's the same thing when it comes to, events or doing marketing or whatever trade that you may be in. There will be different levels based off of that client's need. And it's up to you to really sit down and determine your worth value for each of those services, within also understanding the general market around you.
I promise you, this is like really, really, really good stuff that you guys are giving. I really feel like you guys are giving nuggets, like I like to say.
Hey, nuggets.
Of information that I think that even me can take. I have two more little bitty questions that I want to know. So as we talked about earlier in the show, we spoke about how it's now becoming like this social media age of jumping and sliding into DMs for business as well as pleasure.
Right, for business.
For business, and how we use Instagram to our benefit or Facebook or whatever. So I want to know, is it still important for millennials or anyone who's stepping out into an entrepreneurial space? Is it still important for them to still get out and network, still make those resumes, still have those business cards, still go to those networking events? Is it still relevant for this time that we're in now in the social media age?
I guess I'll start with this one. I think it's super important to still do it, but I think the game has changed. Basic resumes, regular business cards, they're going to get left behind. It's time for people to really step out and be a lot more creative. And how do people remember you? Social media is one way of accessing people, but let's be honest, I'm sure, you're talking to more than, 100 to 200 people on a weekly basis. So that is not a real source of connection. And I think a lot of connections that take you somewhere based off of energy from the actual remembering of the person. Mm-hmm. So yes, in-person networking, I think, is going to be the best option for anyone, even though it's a little easier just to send a DM. But yeah, resumes are important, but I think even more important are actual websites. Yes, everybody's using Instagram for a website, or this is my work. And I don't know if you guys, remember when Instagram crashed, a while ago, everybody started going crazy. And it's like, well, see, this is why you can't depend on this one platform to showcase what you're about. Build your website, build a backing to where people always have a reference to see what you have done and what your passion is.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. You had some great points in there as well. Digital, the world is changing so quickly. And I agree with not having business cards as well. There is something where you can actually have a digital card. You can send that digital card off to someone. Networking is important. It's important. And one of the things that I do tell you is start doing charitable events. Show up at every charitable event that you feel passionate about. I have several. But show up there. Again, it's still pro bono, but it's being pro bono, but yet and still being proactive, and yet and still getting yourself out there, and then teaching you how to communicate with other people, teaching you how to be able to talk. Maybe you go to this particular
Hello?
event,
Especially with social media now, people don't know how to have conversations.
Oh my God,
Yes.
they don't.
It's like, bro, like,
Bro,
what do you want?
yo.
Like, let's talk.
Sup?
Or yeah, and it's like, even just like the day-to-day person and interaction, it's like,
Yes.
oh, you're on the train or you're in a car with, a shared car. People aren't talking; they're on their phone. It's like humanity has changed based off of social media.
You're constantly like this. You're
Yes.
constantly like this. So being able to go out and network is keeping you, training you in your head how to be able to talk face to face, look at you eye to eye. So yes, it is super important. Yes, Instagram is amazing. It's great. I love it. And it's grabbing grabbing business left and right, but you still have to be able to talk to someone. Yeah. You still have to be able to have that conversation. I'm a little older. Just had to turn back around.
Seasoned.
Little seasoned.
Seasoned. A little seasoned.
Little
Just a little
seasoned.
bit.
I'm a little seasoned. And so I come from a time where social media was not that important. And so we had to do that hand to hand, face to face. If I gave you my word and I shook your hand, I better be there. Yeah. And so you incorporate that with today, with Instagram, and that is what catapults you to the next level.
So last question, and I want y'all to make this really quick because we gotta go. But I need for y'all to give me y'all best advice about this because I'm passionate about it. How, when you're at a networking event, how do you properly move through a room?
I knew you were going to come with that question.
How do you properly move through a room?
That's a hard one.
To make sure that, number one, you're no longer representing yourself, you're representing your brand, your business. How do you properly move through a room, gaining friends, not enemies? How do you do that?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you take that one. 'Cause I'm thinking about this. And I'm like,
Because we did talk about that.
Yes, we did.
We did. We talked about
And
see,
I
that's
love
not
your
fair.
answer to this.
That's not fair.
But he
I
asked me that particular question
Yes.
already.
All right.
And it's about dominating the room. It's about coming in, and I am the room. Okay? I am the room. And as if I believe it, what you believe is what you manifest. It's what you manifest inside of the room. So I come into a room and I say, be the biggest star in the room. Talk, network. How do you do that? It's about this. It's about how you dress. It's about how you carry yourself. I don't know if anybody's ever watched that television show, Designing Women. I don't own the rights.
Right. Okay.
Hashtag, I don't own the rights. Be the Julia Sugarbaker in the room. Walk in. Dominate. But also be polite. Also be respectful. I don't know. Again, it's what you put out, the type of energy, the type of spirit I have within. It's every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. My neighbors hate me. Let me just tell you that. My neighbors hate me. Because at 5 o'clock, I wake up every morning at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock in the morning, I jump out of bed.
There's
I'm
no
stomping
way.
on the floor.
Oh, no.
I'm twirling.
Oh no! See,
And my neighbors
could be
hate
my
me.
neighbor. Hell no.
Okay?
No.
You would hate me.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, you would
I'm
hate
just
me.
getting in at
But
5
you
o'clock.
just
I'm
getting
like,
in,
bro.
okay?
I'm like,
You're
bro.
just getting in.
I got a hangover. I can't do this right now, bro. I can't do it.
You're
Can't do
just
it.
getting in, but for me, it's like it's always that energy. So I'm gonna give it to you. It never changes. It never changes. Be myself. It never changes.
That's good. I mean, I'm a little different. I think the way that I finagle the room, I already know that for a fact that people will automatically see the beard. And I think that if I go in with too much of a, oh, I'm the shit, then people are going to assume that, oh, this guy is super cocky, he's conceited. And so what I've learned is like the way that I properly network a room is I'm all about eyes. I'm all about connection. That's why my company is called ICU. And I feel like
Come on in.
through-
Come on and drop it in
And
there. Y'all been dropping brands all day, by the way.
I see you, baby. I just thought about a movie. I see you.
I see you. It's like,
You remember that movie?
you know what I'm saying?
see you.
It's very that. It's
One of
like
the blue people movies. Yeah.
It's about like the energy of people because you are gravitated to certain people in the rooms for certain reasons. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one to go and try to talk to everyone because I don't feel like I'm meant to talk to everyone. But those that I'm supposed to will pass either eyes, connections, or I might like your necklace or I might like your brooch. And so that is what draws me over and be like, oh my God, I love this. And it's more of an organic conversation as opposed to me just being like, hey, what are you? What do you do? What's your name? Where you from? And it's just like, it's not organic. It's not organic. It's not the best way to network a room. The best way is to just be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Meet the person and don't ask, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there's other ways of figuring that out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, to really network a room, you've got to be in the room and be in that time. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just add just that right there with that piece? Because
All right, there we gotta go.
I know we gotta go. But I'm just saying, is that that's the thing I do, and I know I said I'm not gonna go on a tangent, but I'm sorry. But that's the thing that you said when you said about giving compliments, and that's what we do in the hair industry. If you want a new client, you walk up to the person whether the hair is great or not. I know it's a little bit lying. I'm sorry, I'm giving you guys a little bit of a nugget here, but you walk up to the person, you go, "Oh my God, your hair looks amazing." It doesn't.
Yes,
But you find something else. Oh my God, that skirt is so cute. Now, where do you get your hair done?
But see, what we do is we tell you, your hair looks amazing. Even though it doesn't, you say, your hair looks amazing. And they go, oh my God, thank you. Who does your hair? And then when they say that, who does your hair, then you go, they tell you who does their hair. And they go, oh, great. Tell them they're doing an amazing job. I'm a hairstylist also. Here's my card, or here's my information. So if you ever need them, let them know. So they go back to their hairstylist and tell their hairstylist, hey, she said my hair looks great. Or he says my hair looks great. But she remembers me because I told her she looks great. Right. So you start with the compliment. It's kind of three things. Compliment, tell them who I am, and then compliment them again. Yeah. You do that with everyone in the room. That's how you conquer a room.
Listen, okay. I need for everyone that's sitting at home on YouTube, on their laptop phones, watching on TV, I hope that everyone literally wrote, I don't know which camera to look at. I'm going to be super honest. But I need for you all to literally write everything that we heard today, because you all have helped us an awful lot. And the last thing I need for you all to do is to let people know how they can find you, to talk to y'all on social media professionally.
Hey, come on.
About business.
Hey,
just go on your story and look for him, honey. He's on there. Beard and all, looking fine. Okay.
How can we do that? So where can we find you on social media if we need to do that?
I'm at Mogul, Mogul, Chavis, CHAV like Victor, IS.
I'm at Dallas Christopher Hair. Everything is the same. That's about branding. Keep everything the same. So it's Dallas Christopher Hair. I know it's long. Blame my mother. Dallas Christopher Hair on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. It's all there.
Awesome. Well, again, Chavis, Dallas, I love y'all.
We love you.
And I mean that. And I appreciate you all for extending your time to us and talking to us about how to build a brand. So I encourage everyone after this episode, if you are thinking about being an entrepreneur, building a brand, take what they said to heart. Love you, mean it, K-bye. What's up, my Candid Culture family? Thank you so much for spending this time with me and watching this episode. Listen, before you go, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And last but not least, make sure after you do all of those, visit me on Instagram at The Candid Culture. Leave a comment, follow, and let's have a conversation. As I always like to say, love you, mean it, bye.